Okay, chapter 27, Mission. All I can say is that it will take my whole entire life to get some wood cut out of that oak tree with my Virginia quarter. Monday is a teacher workday, so between Sunday and Monday, I have spent 6 hours and 13 minutes cutting that stupid tree. I will never get a whole piece of wood out of there. Plus, my fingers are all bloody from scraping the bumpy bark, and they hurt. Mrs. Brooke is back from visiting her difficult sister, and the babies who are finally born now. It has been so long since I've seen her that when I get to her room, I hold my hand up and wave to say hi. She screams. This is not the reaction I expect. She should say something like, I missed you, or it's good to see you again. That's what teachers normally say. Caitlin, Mrs. Brooke says, why are there cuts on your fingers? Her voice is high and shaky. What have you been doing? Cutting. What? It comes out as a scream. Her hand covers her mouth. Why? That comes out as a muffled crying moan. I need the wood. Her hand drops and she tilts her head. Excuse me? For closure. Can you explain from the beginning? Yes, I can, but it's a long story, so I'd rather not. I mean, would you please start explaining now? Her voice is getting shaky again. Okay, fine. Dad doesn't want to work on the chest, and whenever I ask him if we can work on it because I'm trying to get closure, he says we can't because we need more wood, but it has to be quarter-cut oak, and Dad says that's too hard to get, but we have an oak tree and I have a quarter, so I've been trying to get a piece of wood cut out of it. Oh, Caitlin, you poor thing, she covers her mouth again, and you've been working so hard. Yes, Dad's right about how hard it is. Now I get it. Well, she says, I don't know exactly what quarter-cut oak is, but I do know this much. It is not wood cut from an oak tree with a quarter. Oh, I guess I don't get it then. I'm going to call your father. Why? I want to ask him what quarter-cut oak is and tell him how hard you've been working to get it. Here's the funny thing. Quarter-cut oak just means the way the oak tree is cut into boards for mission furniture, like Devon's mission chest. I wish Dad would just tell me these things. It would make life a lot easier. Chapter 28, Good and Strong and Beautiful. You gave Mrs. Brooke a scare, Dad says. What? She was very upset when she saw your fingers scraped up like that. I was more upset. They're my fingers. I understand. You were trying to get some quarter-cut oak. Yes, and I get it now. You were right. It's really not easy. He sighs and looks at the sheet-covered chest in the corner for the first time ever, and I want to start shaking my hands, but I know that does not make Dad happy, so I sit on them instead. My throat is sore and there's a double recess going on in my stomach, but I say, Dad, I want to finish the chest. I know, he says, but he doesn't say he will. I want to get closure. Everything is starting to blur. I know, he says even more quietly. You need to get closure too. This time he doesn't even say I know, but he nods. I think about what Devon would say. You have to work at it, Dad. You have to try, even if it's hard, and you think you can never do it, and you just want to scream and hide and shake your hands over and over and over. Dad wipes his eyes, and I do too, because mine are blurry, and somehow I think it's really important to see right now. What I see is that his body is shaking, which means he's crying, and soon his voice comes out in strange-sounding gasps that sound like he is laughing weirdly or throwing up, except nothing is coming out of his mouth. Finally, he covers his face with his hands, and he stops the noise, and his body stops shaking, and after he sniffs twice, he takes his hands away from his face and turns his head to me. How did you get to be so smart? I shrug. I'm really working hard on finesse. Then he takes my hand in his, and I don't even pull them away because he's looking at my cuts closely, and I would want to do that too if I saw cuts on somebody's hands, so I let him look. Do you still really want to do this? I don't know if he means to keep cutting the oak tree or work on the chest, but I say yes, just in case he means the chest. You think this will bring us closure? I shake my head. No, I know it will. He blows a little air out of his nose and nods. He lets go of my hands and does one more big sigh. Maybe we can make something good and strong and beautiful come out of this. Good and strong and beautiful. I like these words. They sound like Devon. I want to build something good and strong and beautiful. Okay, Dad says. Let's do it. Yay, I shout. Yay, Dad. Yay for me. Yay for Devon. Let's start now. He puts his arms up like he's being arrested. Okay. This means quiet. When can we start? I whisper. First, you need to learn a little about woodworking. We have some books. I already read them, I shout because I forget to whisper. You did? Yes, you threw the books in Devon's room, remember? He nods. Okay, you'll still need to do some hands-on learning. You have to do it and feel it. You have to do it and feel it to really get it. Oh, okay, I want to really get it. All right, but it's bedtime now, and we need a good sleep before working on it. We can start tomorrow. First thing, we'll need to get some supplies first. Lowe's? He nods. They open at 7 a.m. Remember when you and Devon used to work on the chest on weekends? You got up early and... I know. We need to leave at 6:40 a.m. to get there in time and get a spot right by the door so we're first in line, okay? He sighs. Okay. Do you want me to wake you up? No, I can get up. Are you sure? Don't I get up on time every morning? Yes, but what does that have to do with tomorrow morning? I'll get up. Don't worry. Okay, but I'll wake you up if you're not up by 6 a.m. so you have time to shower. After I go to bed, I decide I should take the sheet off the chest to remind Dad we have to work on it, but I have to stay up a long time because Dad sits on the sofa forever just staring at the sheet. When he goes to bed, I get up and go to the living room and take the sheet off the chest, and I smile at all of its parts because we are finally going to have closure. And I hide the sheet inside my purple fleece and stuff it way under my bed where Dad can't find it in case he changes his mind. Okay, chapter 29, Putting Our Life Back Together. I show Dad Devon's list and he nods. We go to Lowe's and get a lot of the supplies on the list, including quarter-cut oak. We also buy things that aren't on the list, like wood filler. Before we can add anything to the chest, Dad first has to put wood filler where the holes are from when he wrenched out the screws and threw the chest on the floor on the day our life fell apart. He also has to cut out some sections that he destroyed when he kicked the chest on the day our life fell apart. I think about those words and how I haven't said them lately. I think that maybe now is the day we start to put our life back together. It takes Dad a long time to fix the parts that he broke. He scrunches up his face and makes noises like it hurts him as much as the chest. He even says, "This is rough," and "This is hard." I know, I say after he says, "This is hard," for the third time. "This is what happens when you have a TRM, I tell him. You make a mess. It's okay, you just have to try harder next time. I am trying hard, Dad says. I know, you get a sticker. Thank you. Okay, you get another sticker for being polite. Thanks. His lips press together and almost looks like a smile. I forgot that Dad used to smile. I wonder if closure will make him smile. After a while, Dad sits on the sofa and turns on Fox 5 News. You're not quitting, are you? I ask him. No, I'm just stuck, and I want to watch the news. I don't like the news. I'll only watch a little. Is there any other way to get unstuck? You can go get one of those woodworking books. It has the word mission in the title. I need to look at it. Okay. I run to Devon's room. I find the mission book and start to leave, but look back at the room. The sun is shining behind Devon blue shade, and I go back to put up his shade so the sun pours in and makes his room warm and bright, and I can see the dust particles in the beams of light, and maybe they're part of Devon, or maybe not, but they make Devon's room look happy again. Caitlin, where's that book? Coming, I say, but I first do something important. I leave Devon's door open. When I come back in the living room, the news lady is talking about the Virginia Dare shooter. He was obviously disturbed, she says, just like the boys involved in today's school shooting in Maryland. Let me warn you that the video we are about to show of the event has some disturbing content. Dad grabs the remote and shuts off the TV. We both sit on the sofa without moving. I hug the mission book, but it's not the same as my dictionary. It doesn't take away the recessed feeling in my stomach. I would rather be under the sofa cushion than on top of it, but I'm frozen in place. We both look at the chest in the corner. Dad sighs. There's no face for disturbed on the facial expressions chart, so I don't know exactly what it looks like, but I know it's not good. It's the kind of face that gives you a bad feeling because I thought everything would be okay now that we're working on the chest, but it's still not. How timely to be reading this chapter. In the book, they're having a second school shooting, and just a couple days ago for us in real life, we had the shooting in Connecticut of the 6-year-olds. So definitely a real life connection to what we're reading in the book, and we'll have to talk about that in class.